Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to build this carousel. It's got a nice hue hover effect. When you hover over it, it changes hue. It's full width and it's got a lightbox effect. Now to do this today, we're going to be using the Divi Supreme Modules plugin, and it's really easy to do. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work. Here we go, and I've got a row with one column in it. I'm going to get rid of that and we'll start from scratch. Okay, well, let's add a new row. I'm going to put a single column in there. Now before I add a module, let's make our row full width so we can have a full width slider. To do that, go into the row itself, green tab with a little cog there, to our design, to our sizing. Let's slide the width up to 100% and we'll copy the 100% and paste it in max width below there. Or you can just type it in, that's fine. But if we hover over this now, we'll see we've got a full width row that stretches the whole screen width there. Great, so now let's add our module. Like I say, we're using Supreme Modules plugin today. Divi comes as standard with all the light grey modules here. When you add the Supreme modules, you get all these purple ones here, and there's about 42 of them or so. And they really are a great addition to the Divi theme. Now we're looking for the carousel, image carousel, Supreme Image Carousel right there. I'm just going to left click on it. And as you can see, it's actually put some images in there for us straight away. But we want to choose our own. So let's go in and add our images. We'll get some of this fairly similar shape. Let's try those. And with most image galleries, you can drag and drop and reorder them how you like just by simply left clicking. So once you have them in the order that you want, you can put them in default order, you can put them in a random order. Default order is the order that we set them up here. Image size, full size, we could probably take them down a little bit to medium if you wanted to save a bit of space here. Yeah, that's a little bit too small, so I'm going to leave mine at full size. And let's move down to our carousel settings below. Yep, I want to use the slide effect. Cover flow is great, it sort of turns them and gives them some shadow, makes it look a bit 3D. Flip's just a regular carousel, it'll flip, and a cube, well, if I put it on there, you'll see it just rotates it in a cube rotate, which is great, but not for what we want right now. We want the slide for today's. Now I'm going to have 6 going across, and because it's an even number, I don't want centered mode. Centered mode would put one in the middle all the time, which means we'd have a sort of half slide left over there. So I don't want that, and I want to change this to 6 number of sides to show. There we go, that's pretty much what I want there. If I roll it up a bit, we can see it better. And I only want it to increment one slide at a time. You can change that here. For me, that's fine. The slide speed itself, I might want to just slow it down a little bit. Not too much though. That's fine. We do want to auto play. We don't want them to click on it and have to start it manually, so I'll leave that on. Don't need to change the interval. It's 3000 seconds at the moment. That seems to work fine for me. If you want to speed it up, slide it to the left. If you want it to slow it down, slide it to the right. But I think the 3000 or around that area was pretty good for me. If you mess with any of these and decide you don't like what you did, just delete what you've done. It'll go back to the default value for you. I do want it to pause on hover. That way will make a little effect, and when they hover over it they can see the effect and they can click on the lightbox too. Spacing wise, at the moment I've got about 15 pixels in between. You can have them butted up against each other if you want to do a continuous line like that, or of course you can add more space if you want them further away, but for me 15 works quite well. Do want it to loop. I don't want it to be infinite smooth scrolling, because that means it'll be revolving continuously like a wheel. If I switch that on, you'll see what happens there. Just continually rolls around, which is great for some things, but not what I want today. That's going to make you a bit dizzy. Okay, we can show the arrow. You can't see it at the moment because we're full width and it's off the end there, but I'm going to leave that on. Show pagination, that's the little dots, and use the grab cursor, that's fine. Want to open the image in a light box. Don't need to enable the gallery mode bit. If you want your caption to be displayed, like when I hover over it, red and orange solar flare, it tells you there. I don't particularly want that, so I'm going to leave that to no. You can put it on if you want to. Background not going to change. Admin label, don't need to change anything there. Let's go over to our design tab. We'll look at our layout. Center's fine. You can align it top or bottom of the row, but center for me is fine too. Image horizontal alignment, again, we're on a row, you can put it top, middle or bottom. For me, centers works absolutely fine at the moment though. If we go into element, now the arrow, I want to put our arrow inside so we can actually see it there. So I've got no gap at the end. You can see it there. If I change the color, you'll be able to see it better. There we go, it's a white arrow, that's fine. Don't want a background color. Pagination, well, it's there, you just can't see it because it's dark. So let's make it white, and we'll make the active color white also, but I'll take the opacity down on the active color so it looks a sort of gray, so you can definitely tell which one's the active one. There we go, or of course you can give it any color you want. Image, I don't want to give my images rounded corners or borders, so I'm going to leave that just as it is. Don't want any box shadow or glow. But filter wise, I think it'd be nice to adjust the hue when they hover over it, so it'll go a completely different color. So I just want it on hover, so what I'm going to do is hover my mouse over where it says image hue, and this is common to all modules. If you hover over it, these little icons will appear. If there's an arrow, it'll give you a hover option. Click on the arrow, it gives you a desktop or non-hover state, and it gives you a little box that hovers on it. When you've got your mouse over it, this is what will happen. Now when my mouse is over it, I want it to have crazy hue change. So it'll change the colors of the image when you're hovering over it. And for desktop, I want it to be absolutely normal. And I want that to take about a second. So to change the timing, the actual speed by default is 300 milliseconds. If we go over to advanced, go with transition, there's our default speed. I'm going to take mine up to about a second or thereabouts. 1000 milliseconds, which is a second. I'll have ease in and ease out. It means when you take your mouse off of it, it sort of eases back out to the original color again. Well, I think we're in pretty good shape there. We left off with our image element. So let's just go down sizing wise. I don't think I want to change anything in there. Width is fine, max width is fine, don't need to align it, it's full width. Spacing, I'm happy, don't need any margin or padding. Don't want any border or box shadow. We've already set our little filter effect. It's just my pagination there. Just want it a little further away, so to do that I'm going to move the vertical placement slider, just pull it down a little bit, something like that. That works better. And I think we're good to go, so let's save our page changes and exit the visual builder. Okay, let's go down to where we worked. And there it is. There's our automatic full width slider. When we hover over it, the hue is going to change. It'll take about a second for it to do so. It's quite a nice little effect. And when we click on it, it should open into a light box. There we go. So there's how to create a full width slider with lightbox effect and hover effect using the Divi Supreme modules. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.